Hello, thank you for tuning into this week's reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca, in case you're not seeing it there. Also, I am giving in-person, I should say, readings in Herkimer, New York. Shoot me an email if you're near there and you want more details. The information for the decks and dice, all that stuff is going to be below. And if you would like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. James4astral@gmail.com, James4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and let's get into your reading. Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Scorpio? Scorpio. I don't know where that energy's coming from, but as long as it works to your benefit, we're fine. Your energy's fine. Okay. Alright, I gotta be careful with this, because I don't want to be a troll. Because you didn't do anything wrong. But what I keep thinking in the back of my head is, like, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Do you know that this is happening? What is going on here? Because at some point, somebody comes forward, and I feel like I'm looking at them a lot more. I'm looking at them more differently than I used to. When I keep thinking this, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, I feel like it's somebody around me that I care about. Okay. And it's kind of like, I feel like you warned somebody. I feel like you've told somebody a couple times, like, I don't think that's a good idea. I would rethink that. I feel like at the very least it's been like, I don't think that's a good idea. I would rethink that. And maybe this person has walked away from some type of behavior before. That's weird. Let me just get some validation. Because I feel like I got the Tower in the past, but I feel like I was more like, I saw that happening and things were falling apart, and I'm like, before you make this worse, it's bad enough. Don't do that. I feel like the Tower probably did happen, but it could have been worse. That's what I keep getting. The Tower was a bad moment, but I feel like somebody was doing something, and I'm like, you know what? It's been bad enough. Before you make it worse, how about you don't? How about you just don't? Just don't make it worse. And I feel like I told somebody, and I tried to explain it. I do feel like you did put that effort in. You, like, talked about it a little bit. This is why I wouldn't do that. This is why I'd kind of rethink that. It's already bad enough. Let's not make it worse. This reminds me, I'm going to be careful with this, because I know, okay. When somebody feels like they've been slighted and something went really wrong, I feel like I've given this connection. I feel like I've talked to somebody about this before. It's kind of like, I know you're upset. I know you want to get even, but you're perpetuating a cycle. And you keep that wheel spinning. You can't get off it just when you're at the top. You have to get off that wheel when it's at the bottom. That's when you get off. You get off the wheel when it's at the bottom. Think of a Ferris wheel. You don't get off when you're at the top. You get off when you're at the bottom. That's just how it works. That's just how it works. I mean, you probably could find it. I don't know if you could get away off of it when you're. I don't know how you do that. But like when it's down at the bottom, that's when you get off of it, so you don't keep going with that cycle. And I feel like you talked somebody out of not doing something like, don't cut off your nose to spite your face. Like, don't do this. And it seemed to work. Partially. Because I feel like you helped somebody realize they have the power to not do something that's going to make things worse. This quick moment is going to pass. You don't have to make it worse. You don't have to make this. You don't have to make this worse than what it is. And I feel like you gave really good advice here. Really good advice. And the Devil card came out upside down on the dice, which is telling me releasing somebody from like something that was just making things worse, from negative behavior, from darkness, from things that were hard, like letting go of something that was not serving them. Okay, so there's only so much you can do. They didn't let go of the feeling they let the opportunity pass, but the feeling persisted. So whoever this person is, it may not be literally the same players, but it's the same type of attitude, and I feel like instead of letting that sink in, like it served them better to not make things worse. I don't feel like they got that. I feel like they just kind of, it's almost like a one-off, like, okay, this didn't get any worse because I did, but they returned to that behavior. I do feel like they returned to that behavior. So it was like a temporary win, maybe, because I get that, like, something was in waiting and it came forward and they did what they did. And I do get, like, whatever they've done is going to have some lasting consequences. Can we get some days? Let's just be careful with that. I don't know why it's about, yeah, lasting consequences. Doesn't matter if I like it. Doesn't matter if I like it. Okay, so it's just as a reader, sometimes those messages come through. I'm like, can't this be better? They're like, no, it can't. It doesn't matter if you like it. Just say what it is. Just do it. Just do it. Yeah, lasting consequences. Somebody is going to have something, lasting consequences. It's bothering me. Why is it bothering me so much? Because this might be how they figure out the lesson. This might be kind of like, all right, you know what? Tried to do this in quizzes, but you apparently needed the midterm. You apparently need the midterm. We were trying to do this in quizzes. That's not working, so you have to do this midterm and do other requirements for it. That's the best way I can just say it. Because, like, I think of a quiz, like, you know, in the beginning of a class, it takes 5, maybe 10 minutes, most, and you move on from it. It doesn't, like, wreck your day, and you move on from it quicker than you started it. It's kind of like, as long as you know what you're doing, you're good. That wasn't working, so now you have to buckle down and do this 2.5 hour to 3 hour midterm and get everything done. That's kind of what's going on for them. Lasting consequences, the 10 of Swords coming in. I get, like, they had to learn this lesson one way or the other. When I get Destiny, it's kind of like, this had to be corrected. They could have done it the easy way. It's kind of like, you know, the work had to be done. They could have done it the easy way or the hard way. They chose the hard way. Okay. You care about this person. Excuse me. There's not much you could do at this point, but I also see, like, you immediately see the long-term consequences that are here. You see it. I don't know if you like it or not. I don't know how you feel about it beyond that. I just, when I'm getting this card, I'm like, you flat out see it for what it is. You just see it. That's that. And I also feel like I don't have the power to do anything about it. Doesn't matter if I agree or don't agree. I don't have the ability to change this, is what I'm kind of getting from it. Is there anything, missing anything from that? Is that a 6 or a 9? That's a 9. 9 of Cups. And the Empress reversed. I feel like I'm just trying to make peace with it at this point, because it's kind of like, you know what? I tried to help them. I told them not to make those decisions. They've done what they've done. And I feel like I'm just kind of pulling back and kind of like, I didn't want this for them. I didn't want this for them, but that doesn't, I'm not going to bring down my energy because they made the choice they made. I feel like that's definitely going on here. Sometimes it's very interesting, especially as a reader, when you see, like, cards like the Empress come in upside down. Doesn't have to mean it's a bad thing. It may mean that I'm disconnecting from something, kind of like, this isn't my circus, these aren't my monkeys, I need to pull back and let them do what they need to do. I've tried to help. It didn't work. I'm just accepting that and just letting them clean up their own mess for now. For right now, and it might be just a pause. It may be just a pause. I'm just stepping back and letting them clean up their own mess, because maybe that will actually help them improve this situation for themselves. There is other connections around this situation. I feel like I'm also noticing that. I don't think this person's high and dry without anybody to help them at all. I'm getting 2 different versions, maybe a bit of both. One is, all right, there's other people, I can just let it be. Maybe they can help better. Maybe there's something they know that I don't. Maybe they can relate to them better than I can. All right, fine. Others of you might be like, okay, I see who's helping, and I don't, yeah, no. I'm just not going to be a part of that. I see who else is in here. They got their hands in this. I don't work well with them, or I don't want to work with them. Okay, I'll just step back for now and let them do what they need to do. Could be a bit of both. Could be. As we go into the next situation, the Nine of Cups, it was on the dice. It still is, actually. And I feel like I am trying to find a different way to do this. But I'm also kind of like stepping back for now. For the moment, I feel like I'm still stepping back. You don't have to end this connection. Your card does come up. It's very interesting. But I'm getting like, you don't have to completely exit the situation. This is the thing. Even though this is the Scorpio card, it doesn't have to mean Scorpio energy. It could just talk about an ending. I'm getting you don't have to completely exit this situation. I get that at this moment, a possibility is just to back up and kind of like take another look at it for a minute, because I feel like you don't want to waste your time if it's not going to make a difference. I totally respect that. Definitely. But they're saying you could quietly just, it's kind of like, I don't know if I want to get in the water and swim, but I don't have to walk away from the beach totally. Maybe I'll just kind of like, dip my toes in the shallows a little bit and just kind of walk near the water. Maybe I'll just keep an eye on the water. Maybe I'll assist other people, like, I'll make sure, like, this person has a towel, and maybe I'll help that person get ready if they need to, if they're going to go in there and swim. But I'll assist from the sidelines, but I won't completely walk away from the water. Does that make sense? Hopefully I'm making sense with that. Kind of like not getting in the water, but other people going towards the water, I'll make sure they have what they need. This one needs earplugs or nose plugs or whatever. Maybe I'll make sure this one has their water shoes because it's a lake or a beach, whatever. Make sure they have their water shoes. That way if they step on anything that's a little sharp or uncomfortable, it doesn't have to be a problem. I'm assisting. I'm helping other people who are going in the water, but I don't feel like I'm getting in the water. And I get like, I can act like I'm okay with that, and I can act like I'm happy with that. Doesn't mean I actually am, but like I'm just going to assist from the sidelines and not actually get in. That's a possibility. Might serve you a little bit better. There are advancements in this situation that still have to happen. There are advancements that still have to happen. These three cards come in at once. Take this with a grain of salt. This doesn't have to be a situation that contains a legal aspect, but it may. I don't feel like that's going to be a mystery. I feel like whatever this is, that either is or is not there. I don't feel like it'll be a mystery. It doesn't feel like it's a mystery to me anyway. There's some conflict here. This Justice card, and then the 7. It is not the 7. That is the 5. 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords, the way I read it, is like the fruitless win. Even though we're doing what we're supposed to, does it even matter now? It's kind of like winning the house, but not being able to live in it. It's kind of like, I want a house in another country that I can't even sell. It's just going to sit there. It's technically mine, but I can't even legally sell it. I can't go there, and I can't sell. That's kind of how this feels. I want a house that I can't go to, and I can't legally sell. Okay, that's great. So it's like the fruitless win. Conflict with the 5 of Wands. I feel like there's other people trying to balance this situation out. The way the energy feels to me, it's going to take some time and some diplomacy to really decide what's the right action to go forward with next. But I also see like there are some people with a positive attitude. The question is it realistic? That might be your part to kind of go in there and help things have a chance. And to help move the positive energy forward in more of a realistic way, you might be able to kind of be very subtle. I'm saying that knowing some Scorpios. Like the Scorpios that I know, sometimes they don't say much, but when they do, they get right to the point. I don't know if that's a Scorpio thing or because I'm thinking of who it is. When Scorpio has to say something, though, I feel like you have the impact. And sometimes, at least the Scorpios I know, when they have something to say, they just say it and they move on. whatever that is. So you might have some influence on that. I'm questioning because I keep thinking of this one same person, and I'm just like, they have other influences in their chart, and I'm just like, they can be very blunt, and then they just let it go and they just move on. And then, like, I said what I had to say. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, then too bad. And they just move on. You might have the influence there to kind of like, realistically, let's do this, or kind of like, let's steer it this way because that makes more sense. It's good. It's a good idea, but let's make sure we keep it in like reality. Let's keep it in reality. There are possibilities for this situation later at that point where it can go more into like a better energy, but we got to kind of try to keep it on the like, this makes sense trail. The Queen of Cups is very interesting because whatever this situation is, I feel like I'm kind of trying to help from behind the scenes. I'm not out on stage, I'm behind the scenes. And as I keep going forward, I feel like maybe in the past I was more center stage, but I'm more like, I'll just do the lighting. I'll make sure the sound makes sense. I'll make sure that everything is secure. I don't feel like I'm in center stage with this anymore. Maybe I was in the past, and I feel like I'm happier with that. I feel like the situation doesn't stress me as much, and I do feel like I see more positive outcomes from a distance. It makes it a lot easier, and I'm also able, I feel like I'm more effective, ironically, by seeing it from the outside and helping people see the truth and helping kind of like positive energy move in more of a realistic energy, a realistic path. And it's kind of like when you're right in it, it's harder to see that realistic, direction. And when you're more on the outside, like helping from the outside more, it's kind of like, oh, I can see how that was going. I can see where when I was on stage, I thought that made sense, but here from the side, I can see because I can see where, the lights are blinding the people on stage. They don't see that. Because I'm not on stage, I see that, and I can help give, direction and like go this way instead of that way. I think we're there. That's where this one's ending. All right, I think we're good. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.